Kia ora guys and welcome back to the Black Jersey. My name's Max, I'm the host over here at this channel, and a massive thank you to my patrons. As I say at the start of every video, we've got Rugby World Cup pool stages all over and done with. Week 5 has been completed and we are looking ahead to the knockout stages now. But for one last time during the pool stages, I'm going to show off my team of the week. I'll have a team of the week for both the quarters and the semi-finals. Then right after the World Cup final, I'm going to share my team of the tournaments. Before we get into today's video with all my picks, I'll just remind you guys as well, please subscribe, like and comment on this video if you enjoy it. Need the algorithm to promote this channel a heck of a lot more, as is my full-time job. The bench I've got, I'll just share this with you guys as well. I've gone for Dan Sheehan, Keita Inagaki, and Thomas Francis in my front row. I've gone for Tupou Va'i as my reserve lock. Sione Havili Talitui, who you see in the picture. Awesome performance for him for Tonga this weekend. Frank Lamani, very good. The best Fijian player by far this weekend. Was great to see him play so many minutes as well. He comes in clutch all the time. One of the best halfbacks in the world. Sam Costello, very good, filling in for Gareth Anscombe for Wales as well, with Anscombe and Bigger both having a few knocks. And Rodrigo Mata of Portugal. You're going to see a bit of a Portuguese theme to team of the week this week, because after watching a few replays, I have grown a bit of respect for Portugal. I've come to appreciate their style of rugby, but their highest try scorer of all time just scored his most important try for Portugal yet, as they finally got their first win in a Rugby World Cup in their history. They participated in 2007, and since then they've been in the wilderness, but they are back now. And so for my loose head prop, I've gone for Francisco Fernandes, the 38-year-old loose head prop, playing his final ever game for Portugal, scoring a vital try in their first win in World Cup history. I'm going to have a video about that tomorrow because it was beautiful. Fernandes had a very good 57-minute performance, beat 2 defenders, was just absolutely phenomenal, just trucking it up, doing the basics, setting the platform, and of course getting that reward with the try. Did win a scrum penalty and a turnover, made one pass, was a very solid defender as well, so that is how he's ended his international career on a high, and congratulations to him. Julian Montoya, one of the star try scorers in 2019, now a massive leader for Los Pumas as their captain. They were like a massive big cat just playing with their food until they finally caught it against Japan, and Julian Montoya in his 78 minutes, huge part of that. Phenomenal performance, running 65 meters thanks to one of his clean breaks, making 11 carries as well. Just an absolute workhorse, made 14 out of 15 tackles as well, and got a turnover on defense, being a machine, allowing for Emiliano Buffelli to really just put that scoreline out of reach with the turnover. For my tight head prop, I didn't find a real standout, so I'm just going to go full Kiwi bias over here and select Fletcher Newell, who also scored his first try in Test rugby. Fletcher Newell has had a bit of a injury-ravaged season in 2023, so I was pretty stoked for him that he made the World Cup squad. Was very good to see him in there, and even though he was named in jersey 18, he came on early for Tyrell Lomax. He did come off late himself due to a bit of a cramp, with Offa Tu'ungafasi coming back on to play at 3 after wearing the 1 jersey for the starting lineup. Newell was also very good on defence when he did actually get the chance to defend. As you can see, just 2 out of 2 tackles. That's how few defences the All Blacks just had to make in that game against Uruguay. But you know what, Fletcher Newell, very good in attack. We can see 18 metres, 2 defenders beaten, 6 carries. He got pretty close as well to getting a double, so hats off for Newell for this, considering the fact that Owen Franks, a guy he would have watched during school, didn't even get a try off over 100 test caps. For the locks, I've gone for Cameron Wokey of France in the jersey number 4, a very solid attacking player, dominated Italy at the set piece as well, with 2 stolen lineouts, made 9 out of 11 tackles and 1 turnover as well. Just an incredible mobile athlete who is very good, and a solid outing for the French ahead of their match against South Africa in the quarterfinals. In lock 5, I've got Amato Fakatava, who is immense for Japan. They absolutely should not have taken this guy off. Very good defensive shift with 11 out of 12 tackles. Although Kazuki Himeno finished the match as Japan's most prolific tackler, Fakatava was leading the tackle charts when he came off, and that try, man, he got one of the best tries I've ever seen at a World Cup. I hope that wins World Rugby Try of the Year. He also ran 48 metres, beat 3 defenders and made 1 clean break off just 6 carries, a very productive 51 metres for him. It appeared that the substitution with Fakatava coming off for Warner Dunes was pre-planned, and I think that pre-planned substitutions like that, it just shows that the impact that you can have from making them just cannot be very good sometimes. Over to the loose forwards, Nicolas Martins from Portugal is my player of the week. Although he did indeed break himself at the cause coming off with 11 minutes to go, the man was absolutely huge, running 54 metres and beating 2 defenders off 8 carries, just trucking it up over and over and over, crashing the ball up, getting ground for his backline to work off. He did make 4 passes and 2 offloads as well, really just playing the role of that third lock, wearing the 7 jersey. Portugal have their blindside at 7, as you guys probably know, and 16 out of 7 tackles. Amazing defense, wanted to win so badly, and you can see it in his face. He has a winning attitude that you just can't coach. After he got a few points for me in my fantasy league, I'm very excited to see him translate that to a man of the match performance in Portugal's first World Cup win, where he also got 2 turnovers. Man of the match for Wales's clash against Georgia was Tommy Rafel. Didn't get too many opportunities on attack, as we can see. Most of his meters were post-contact, hence the stats of 3 meters off 7 carries, but man oh man, really just getting involved as a distributor with 8 passes and 2 offloads and making 18 out of 19 tackles, the top tackler for Wales on the day, and really getting his side out of jail around that 50-minute mark or so before Wales opened the floodgates, getting 3 turnovers. Very solid outing for him, probably going to be wearing jersey number 20 when the captain Jack Morgan comes back into the 7 jersey later this week. Number 8, Gregory Aldrit, another solid outing from this guy, getting his 2nd Man of the Match award at the World Cup. Ran 72 metres, beat 3 defenders off 18 carries, was a workhorse on defence as usual. This guy's so reliable, it's no wonder some commentators have occasionally mistaken Aldrit for the French captain, making 14 out of 14 tackles and 1 turnovers. Ireland and Scotland, who he was also eligible for, they will be miffed they missed out on this guy. Now that we're back from the ad break, we're going to move into discussing the backline and Jamison Gibson-Park proving once again he was robbed of an All Black cap. It was very interesting as well to see how Ireland covers the injuries to both of their wingers, Mac Hansen with concussion and then James Lowe copping a bit of a boot to his eye. Luckily that's healing ahead of the quarterfinals. Jamison Gibson-Park inside his own half, he would attack from 9 and then he was defend from 9 inside the opposition half, which was very, very, very interesting. Murray would attack from 9 close to the line ahead of the opposition try line, with Gibson-Park defending on the wing, and it was the other way around. This allowed for Gibson-Park to get 52 metres and 2 defenders beaten off 10 carries. All 30 of his passes, very, very solid, just crisp, accurate, knew where it was going all the time, really just getting those tries opening on the scoreboard for Ireland, giving them so much quick ball to work off. Very good to see him try to make a few tackles as well. 5 out of 8, bit of a mixed result, but I won't fault him because he was defending on the wing inside the opposition half, and with 1 turnover though, I think that makes up for it. It was a class performance from the number 9. Anyway, Lima Sopoaga, how did we let this guy get away? He played, I think, 17 or 18 test caps for the All Blacks. He's now with Manu Samoa. Made the news after losing his kicking tee earlier in the tournament, but great to see him back. Really just filled out the stat sheets, getting 2 out of 2 conversions, 1 out of 2 penalty goals. Man of the match, 53 metres, 1 defender beaten, 2 clean breaks, 13 carries, 20 passes, really just showing his stuff as a great decision maker for Manu Samoa, valiantly falling short against England, and with his defence of 5 out of 6 tackles and 1 turnover 1, this was a guy who deserved to win the match. I did withdraw my prediction about Samoa beating England and everything, but I still wish it really happened because this was a guy here who deserved to win. Over on the left wing, if it weren't for Portugal's win, I'd have probably made Mateo Carreras player of the week. That hat-trick of his against Japan, man, that was awesome to watch. Just the wicked step this guy possesses. It allowed him to run 71 metres, beat 8 defenders, pretty high total comparing Japan's defensive stats to Argentina's and everything. He also made 2 clean breaks off just 8 carries. The defensive shift though, that is why he stood out. Argentina earlier this year had absolutely atrocious defence in the All Blacks for their first test match of 2023, and Carreras at 11, he fixed that, making 10 out of 10 tackles and 1 turnover. That is why, if not for Portugal's win, he would have been player of the week. Now as we go to the midfield, Santiago Chocobares at 12 was always going to have a tough time with his midfield partner Lucio Cinzi, not exactly a world-renowned defender, but he stood up to make 12 out of 14 tackles, having a massive defensive performance. This guy's had potential for a long time, and I think this game was his coming of age. He got the opening try, getting a great clean break to run 77 metres throughout the game and beat 3 defenders throughout the game, doing a few crash ball runs after the scrum and everything. Also made 5 passes, 1 offload. He was getting the ball out wide when he could, doing his job. Cannot fault him for that. Very, very good performance from Santiago Chocobares. At 13, Anton Leonard-Brown. He had his best game in a black jersey for a long time. This guy is class. I was at his test debut at the stadium at the time, and if he reaches 100 tests, I want to be there for his 100th test. This guy is so good. He ran 78 metres, beat 2 defenders, made 2 clean breaks and 8 carries, but he was absolutely amazing at getting all of the ball out to those wingers with his 12 passes and 2 offloads. Leonard-Brown knew exactly where he needed to be at all times, running beautiful support lines, always there for the winger if they needed a hand, always getting the ball to those wingers. And of course, defence, there wasn't too much for it to do, but he was flawless over there with 7 out of 7 tackles and 1 turnover 1. He's a guy with a will to win that you cannot coach, and I hope that Razor will continue to have him then there. Considering ALB is the only survivor in the All Blacks midfield from 2019, he's really just showing why he's earned that longevity and will no doubt continue it for more years to come. Over at 14, Damian Penaud, the world's best player. I have to reserve a spot for this guy if he ever has a good game, which is most of the time. If he gets 3 more tries in 2023, he will equal the record of Joe Rokocoko for most tries in a calendar year. If he gets those 3 more tries, he will equal the record as France's highest ever try scorer. He will break the record by Jonah Lomu, Brian Habana and Julian Savia for the most individual tries in a Rugby World Cup for the men's division, of course. Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe's women's record's a bit hard to catch, but if anyone can break that and get to 9 test tries in a World Cup, it's going to be this guy. Speaking of his performance, world class against the Italians, coming in to make some kicks, making some beautiful passes off the 4 that he gave, and off his carries he ran 78 metres, 7 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. That was what allowed him to get the 2 well-deserved tries, showing decent defence as well with 3 out of 4 tackles and 1 turnover 1. And Damian Penaud's namesake, Damien McKenzie, is going to be in my team of the week at 15. He was very, very, very good. Look at that stat sheet, just beautiful. 80 minutes played, 2 tries scored, 2 out of 2 conversions for 14 points. Up until Tomar Ramos kicked a few against Italy, that made D-Mac the leading point scorer at the World Cup thus far. Playing at 15, he was always going to run plenty of metres with 105, and though he didn't actually have to do any defending at all, he made a massive difference coming from out of the backfield to be that extra distributor, as we can see with his 26 passes. What a team of the week it was this week. Honestly, these guys were all just absolutely amazing. Just to remind you guys of who I've picked in the video, I've got the full Team of the Week graphic just over here next to me, and so that wraps up today's video. One more massive thank you to my patrons, and cheers to you guys for watching. Do check me out over on Instagram, Rumble, Odyssey, other places like that, and remember to share your thoughts and share your Team of the Week down below. Cheers for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. From Max.